Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to something which I want to try and do every month. Essentially, this is called Satisfactory News, where at the very end of every single month of the calendar year, I want to try and go over everything new that's been added to Satisfactory, or that's been mentioned about Satisfactory. And we're also going to try and throw a couple of random guesses out there, predicting what we're going to be receiving in the coming months. For example, today's stream, we're going to be mentioning everything that we've received so far in April, and towards the end of the stream, we're then going to just, throw some interesting ideas out there which could be happening in May. So that should be rather exciting, but regardless, welcome everyone. Hope that you are doing well, whether you're watching it live or if you're watching on the VOD. It's incredible to have you guys tuning in today. And yes, I have got Pokemon music in the back. So what? I'll probably end up changing it a bit later on, but it's what we're going to roll with for now. And welcome Vinod, hope that you're doing well. Yes, I am now a news reporter. I've retired from Satisfactory now. I've taken 3 days break from Satisfactory. There's still content going up on the channel, obviously, which we'll talk about in just a moment, in fact. But that's an ad. Cool. But yeah, I have taken a very small break from it. I do want to try and get back into it over the next couple of days, but sometimes it's good to take a break every now and then. But regardless, let's just get straight into things. So, essentially in today's stream, we're going to be talking about these 3 videos in particular: the state of EXP and 1.1, the uplifting news, which there's very little to talk about, as well as this video that was uploaded technically 1 month ago. And that's titled What's in 1.1, but I believe this was uploaded like literally exactly a month ago, so we're still going to talk about it today. Welcome Adam, hope that you're doing good. Yeah, we got a little bit of news today to talk about, which will be rather exciting as well. Welcome Matthias. Just a guessing stream? No, it's not a guessing stream. This is going to be going over everything in Satisfactory this month. So at the end of every single month of the calendar year, so January, February, March, all of that, we're going to be doing a stream where we go over everything they've said that they've added, everything that's been confirmed, and some things that we want to try and predict for next month. For example, they've uploaded 3 videos in the last 31 days, so these are the 3 videos that we are going to be going over to see what they've actually done this month. So rather than watching 200 videos about this thing being added, and that thing, then this thing, then the other thing, in this stream, we're going to go over everything. It's not going to be a long stream, it's going to be about half an hour to an hour maximum, unless we do some things towards the end, which I'm not quite sure about. Something else I do also want to very quickly mention as well is these things over here, which is called what? This is the Satisfactory Discord, obviously. But there's 2 particular tabs that I'm interested in. That's the patch notes and the announcements. This is where essentially they talk about all the new things that they're adding into the game, as well as, of course, the patch notes, which a lot of people don't actually see, which is the reason why I make videos talking about it. So we're going to go over all of that stuff as well. But the very first thing that I actually want to start off with is, I'm muting that, and going over to this video right here, State of EXP and 1.1. This was uploaded by Coffee Stain Studios a couple days ago now. Yeah, technically exactly 3 days ago. Almost to the hour, I think. So yeah, 3 days ago. I've scanned through the video to make sure there was nothing major, otherwise I would have covered that in a separate video. But I don't think there was anything major. I still want to go over it though, give my thoughts and opinions about all of it. Same with this video and with this video here as well, because all of them do provide some rather interesting things, but with this video in particular, I don't know everything that Mikhail says. So let's go over it, and hopefully it'll be pretty good fun.
Hi.
Hi.
It's been a while. Hope you're good.
There we go.
Hey, what is up? It's good to be back. It's good to be here pretending that you're all inside this little camera here.
I am. Actually, I don't exist. I literally just am a camera. He was
Am I messing up focus?
Yes.
I think... okay, I think it's good. Hi! As you may or may not have noticed, we haven't really released any videos in April. And part of the reason for that...
Yep, again, when we go back to that, technically the only actual video they've released this month is this uplifting news video. And there's not really much behind it. I think I understand why they've released this now. Originally, I had no idea why they did this, but we'll get onto it. We will get onto it.
Is my own vacation at the start of the month, followed by heaps of catch-up following that vacation. Because, of course, while I was gone, 1.1 did indeed hit the experimental branch.
This is a while ago
And
now,
first
obviously.
and foremost, thank you so much for the feedback, the bug reports, the very positive sentiment.
Speaking about bug reports, I've encountered a brand new bug. So essentially, I've got 2 current playthroughs that I'm doing. I've got, if I just show you, in fact, this will make things a bit easier. Don't look at that. That's a spoiler for a future video that's probably going to come out in like 3 weeks' time. Let me try and find a hostile enemy. And in fact, whilst I'm doing that, oh, come on, music. Not that loud. There we go. And the reason why I'm trying to find a hostile enemy is because I want to try and show you guys something that's a bit funny, but also rather depressing, and bloody hell, that's loud. Where is it? Well, there were some hogs down there, but I killed them. And this shouldn't be a thing. I'm sure it has already been reported. I will also report it if it continues to be in the game. In fact, I wonder if this is going to do it. So currently on this playthrough, I've got a setting enabled called God mode, which essentially means I cannot die. The reason as to why I do this is because this is my creative world that I use for calculating recipes, recording videos, and that's it. Whereas my other 1.0 world I actually have as my main survival series, where I do all my actual in-game stuff, like building the factories and all that. So as we can see in the very bottom left, despite me standing right next to this gas thing, I'm taking 0 damage. But when I enter picture mode, and then I go onto decoupled, let's just another bloody ad. There we go. Let's just take a couple seconds here. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to go back to my pioneer. Now look at my health bar. I've taken damage. So essentially, my character no longer has God mode whenever I've activated the decoupled mode for the camera. This is a very weird glitch I've only seen very, very recently. If I was to stand here for long enough in the decoupled mode, my character will actually die, which is, it's weird. I don't understand why it's a bug. On one hand, I can, because you're no longer that character, which means that this character, there you go, I'm dead now. Even though I've got God mode, which means I shouldn't physically be able to die, which, yeah, weird bug. But anyway, going back to what Mikhail was saying about the bugs, if you do, of course, find a bug, just report it. It makes everyone's life easier, I think.
Sentiment about the game on EXP since we launched it up on the branch. It's been
Overall, fantastic update. Is really good so far. A couple bugs, but name an update that hasn't had bugs in a video game this year. Like, there isn't one.
Great fun following. It's been nice playing ourselves, and it's been amazing seeing what's already coming out of photo mode on EXP. Can't wait to share much of that.
Yeah, oh Jesus. Yeah, photo mode is fantastic.
Aside
Love it.
from post EXP launch shenanigans in the office, we've also been busy with other internal affairs that you may or may not catch wind of very quite soon in the upcoming few videos. Ooh, exciting.
Wow. That should be interesting,
so,
actually.
Anyway, 1.1 stuff, this video,
Yes.
let's go. And let's first talk about the Epic Store, because we know that we've had issues for a while now where if you're someone who plays the game on Epic and bought the game post the release of 1.0, the EXP branch may not have been accessible to you.
I've seen some people in my live chat talking about this. So this seems to be a fix now. If you've got, like Mikhail just said, I'm just echoing what he said, but if you've got Satisfactory after 1.0 came out, and you're wondering how people like myself and millions of others can play experimental when you cannot, I believe that was just a problem with Epic Games. I don't know if Steam had that same problem. If you guys do play on Steam, do let me know in the comments. I don't play on Steam. I should, but I don't, because when I got the game, it was on sale on Epic, not on Steam. Yep. In fact, was it even on Steam? There's a reason I got this game on Epic Games and not Steam. I completely forgot why, but there you go. So that was really annoying, but hopefully everyone should now be able, unless you're on console, obviously, to play Satisfactory on experimental from Epic and Steam. You found a tiny mistake where when turning off a customized filter, it shows dismantle filter cleared? Really? I haven't even seen that one myself, but yeah, there are a couple bugs here and there. As long as it's not game-breaking, I think it's fine. And from what I've experienced, there aren't really any game-breaking bugs in Satisfactory at the moment. There's a couple quality of life problems, but it could be worse. It could be like Bethesda kind of bugs, or Ubisoft kind of bugs, or EA kind of bugs. So it could be worse, definitely.
And that's because, unlike Steam, where you opt into EXP through, the game's properties and betas,
Oh, there you go.
on Epic, the EXP branch shows up in your library as its own separate game.
Yep.
And that version, that game, did not, again, in fact, show up if you bought the game post 1.0.
That's a weird
should
one.
Be fixed now. We're terribly
Nice.
sorry about that. Of course, we want both Steam and Epic players to be able to test EXP.
Welcome, Viking Gamer. Wasn't Satisfactory exclusive to Epic the first year? It might have been. It might have been. Because again, there was a reason as to why I got the game on Epic. I just don't know the reason as to why. So that's probably it, and I wouldn't be too surprised. Because normally I use Steam for everything. I think the way Steam's laid out everything, I just find a lot easier to navigate my way around it, like finding new games or the library. I really like it. Whereas with Epic, it's not bad. It's just a bit more clustered. I don't enjoy using it as much personally. But yeah, that's probably the reason as to why. You also have a game that just got a huge update similar to 1.0 for Satisfactory. So you're trying to balance out Satisfactory 1.1 and other updates, which adds like 3 times the gameplay. Oh, nice. Speaking about another game that had a massive update, technically a relaunch, it was Elder Scrolls Oblivion, I believe is what it's called. That game looks really fun. I just got back into Skyrim. That's the reason why today's stream was actually a bit late than usual. It wasn't because I wanted to stream a bit late. It was because I was playing Skyrim. Sue me. Call the SWAT team. I mean, it's a fun game. Because normally what I do is massively off topic, I load into Skyrim. It takes about 7 days to install. I get in. I do the first mission where you go through Helgen. I think is like the very first area. Then I go to Riverdale, Riverside, that first town, that first settlement. Then I quit the game and don't return to it for like another year. But this time I'm actually properly playing it through. It's a lot more enjoyable. And this weekend I wasn't home, so I was out doing stuff. Without internet, I know. I don't know how I survived for 2 days, but we're still here. So it was nice coming back and just loading up a bit of Elder Scrolls, if I'm honest. It was good fun. But Satisfactory streams, I actually want to try and do some more Satisfactory streams this week, absolutely. And of course, videos will still be uploaded on the channel as well. When do you think 1.1 will be out for everyone? It's a good question, and I don't have an answer for it. If I was to guess, I would say probably middle to the end of May. So by this time next month, I hope it will be out on the main branch itself for everyone to have. Fingers crossed, but I don't know, if I'm completely honest. You remember hearing that somewhere? Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. That was probably the reason as to why I got it on Epic rather than Steam. I could also get the game on Steam as well. I don't know if I can link accounts, but I'm not going to spend an extra £34, whatever it is, for a game I've already got. Unless it's a remaster like Oblivion, but yeah.
With the,
it's not.
update as we are chugging along developing it.
Also, let me know if Mikhail's voice is a bit low, by the way. I'll turn it up a little bit.
And we want all of your feedback. So
there we go.
Should be back up. Again, sorry for the little mishap there. If you still can't see it, please let us know in the comments below. We will read all of them and search for anything wrong there. Secondly,
Nice.
We also want to touch on the point of experimental at all. And that point is not to launch 1.1 or any update really as some sort of like early access with the intention of delivering the complete 1.1, in this case, experience to.
It's essentially like a beta before the main update comes out. So, of course, not as many people have the experimental version as the main game itself, hence why it's called experimental and not Satisfactory, I don't know, very early access, because normally they have like the Satisfactory early access, then the experimental. But again, when they launched the game on experimental, they probably expect a few things are going to go wrong. So they let all the players on experimental go through the game, report any bugs, then by the time they've squashed the majority of the major bugs, they then launch onto the main game itself, where there's going to be a lot less bugs. This makes a lot of sense. I don't know if many other games do this, but I feel like they probably should, because it leads to a much smoother transition from a buggy game, which a lot of people may complain about, to a much smoother experience. So I think it's pretty cool. But bear in mind, it is just experimental. It's called experimental for a reason.
Because, of course, we all would like the game early. No, the intent is indeed for the game to be up there for testing and feedback purposes.
Yep.
Satisfactory is a massive game, both just the game itself and its success in comparison to how small our studio is, even considering external testers, which we do have. So EXP is a great way for us to launch just optimization tests, server tests, or in this case, major update tests.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to what I was saying a bit earlier as well, because Mikhail was saying there that they have got people that do test the game before it comes out for everyone. But let's say that's 100 people, and that's probably pushing it a little bit. Those 100 people might encounter 5 bugs. They might try and fix those 5 bugs, and let's say that, like, Satisfactory Experimental didn't exist. They squash those 5 bugs, they release it to the main game itself, and then the player base discovers 250 new bugs that they didn't even realize was in the game. And then some of those bugs might be game breaking or really, really bad bugs. Luckily, because of Experimental, it sort of bridges that gap between the final version of the game and the potentially buggy update that could be releasing. So again, it's a fantastic idea. So I understand why they do it.
So that many people who want can opt into this branch knowing that stuff will be blatantly broken.
Branch. That's a good idea for it as well.
And still just, you know, test all the features, bring feedback, bring bug reports, because that is kind of what the branch is about.
Yeah.
So if you are someone who enjoys EXP, maybe for the first time, please be aware that, yes, instabilities and broken stuff may be a bit more apparent, obvious, compared to the live game.
And I've seen people complaining about that on the Discord. It's like, why is the game laggy? Why is this bug in the game? It's experimental. Like, you're literally downloading a version of the game that is telling you, hey, this is an experiment. Things might not necessarily go too smoothly, but you've downloaded the experimental branch of the game. So yes, there's going to be problems with it.
Which is bug-free, of course, as we all know, because you should never release a game if it's bugged. You would never do that back in 1995, and we shouldn't do that today either, of course. This EXP period is especially nice for features that are brand.
Sorry, I just got some deja vu of pretty much every single Battlefield game that's ever come out, but oh well. The amount of bugs. Oh god, the amount of bugs in that. I mean, 2042 was, in particular, very, very buggy, but again, as a Battlefield fan, just gotta swallow that pride there a little bit as a new game comes out, and then you expect the bugs. But then they patch it out, they iron out the creases over the course of 1 or 2 decades.
The new to the game that we want to introduce to live Satisfactory, so that we can address issues that people have feedback on while these new toys are still heavily under development. A great example of this in 1.1 is controller support.
Yeah. Oh, bloody ad. Oh, look. I actually want to talk about this ad. I was going to make a shorts about it. I get ads on YouTube, if I get rid of my webcam here for a second, about cheats. This is a video game cheat app that's free. I don't know why YouTube allows or let alone promotes this absolute shite. They really should not promote apps and sites that allow it to cheat. I find it so stupid. I really find it so stupid. But going back to controller support, I did very briefly mention this in this video right here that I released just less than 2 weeks ago, about 10 days ago, where I went over all the patch notes in the game. So I took all of, where is it? Everything that you see here. It's going. Okay, I don't think I mentioned all that stuff, but pretty much everything down here, and I condensed it into a more easier to understand format, which, by the way, that video took so long to record because I kept on stuttering because I have dyslexia, so trying to read all of that, I was just dying on the inside. But after about 2.5 hours of recording, we managed to do it. But essentially, yes, I mentioned all these things about bug fixes, but the one thing I didn't mention in much detail is the controller support, because not many people use a controller, but it's still pretty cool that they are implementing that feature into the game, so that is still incredible. And one day, yes, I am going to be using a controller in Satisfactory. I'll probably make a video about it. I don't know if I can connect my PlayStation controller into my PC. I know that I can use something called Remote Play, but I don't know how well that works, or if I have to use a different controller. Don't know.
Controllers are not an afterthought or an attempt for us to simply replicate keyboard and mouse movement into a new button layout. In fact, we are even partnering with Fish Labs for their expertise for this move onto controllers, who design the magic with our input.
That looks really simple to do.
With Fish Labs, we want to make sure that controllers have genuine thought behind them, properly making or molding game functionalities around them with features such as auto foliage pickup or submenus in menus.
Wait, what was that? Hold to toggle foliage auto pickup.
such as auto foliage pickup, or submenus.
Okay, that's really cool. So what the player was doing
have
before
genuine thought
was they went up to a bush or whatever, and then they were or manually collecting the leaves. Yet when you enable that setting, you just have to walk up to the leaf or the word or whatever, then it automatically collects it. That's a really cool feature.
behind them, properly making or molding game functionalities around them with features such as auto foliage pickup or submenus
really
in
good.
menus or inventories. On top of finding comfortable button combinations, features like these are crucial for controllers to feel like a seamless, fun, smooth way to play. But it is
Absolutely.
new ground for us with this game, and thus a perfect time for us to hear what the community thinks about what we are making while we are in the process of making it.
In fact, speaking about the community, if you guys have used controller support, or just any controller in this game, are you guys enjoying it? Because again, I would love to use it personally. I'll probably make a video talking about it, the good things, the bad things, and just comparing it to a game like Subnautica, for example, which I believe was a PC-only game, then they added controller and console support, right? Was Subnautica launched as PC only? Oh no, and PS4 and Xbox One, to be fair. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was a PC-only game to begin with. But no, apparently not. But yeah,
And
this seems pretty
so
cool, though.
We have experimental.
I don't know if it is, it just seems
Alright,
pretty
so
cool.
for the news part of this video, despite there being a break between the last video, which to be fair was pretty chunky, and this one, I don't really have anything that I can share with you today that is brand new, but I did feel like we shouldn't leave without giving you a small handful of nuggets of something. And so I want to go on a semi-quick fire round about stuff that you can not expect to see in 1.1 once the game goes from EXP to live, because I'm nice like that.
I feel like that's fine, even though this is technically content that we are not getting, so it's not great news. It's still nice to know what we're not going to get, so we can't speculate about it and get it wrong. I can still see that blinking golf club in the background, Mikhail. I see that little golf tease.
We're not going to go through too many of these
I'm
points
definitely gonna
today,
add golf.
but let's start with the somewhat recurring request of vertical splitters and mergers, as well as left-handed railway signals being their own separate buildables. We have heard discussions about this online, and we have had our own internal talks about this even before 1.1 hit EXP, but we are going to stick to our current design for a bit and maybe work off of feedback and our own feelings later down the line. But for now, we don't really have the time or feel the need to explore the other option compared to other things that need to be done more urgently with our current time constraints.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't really see why that should be much of a priority. There's other things to work on. I mean, if they were to do that, it would be nice. Is it going to change the game? No. It just isn't. There's more important things to work on.
Throughput monitors for pipes.
That would be... I know he's going to say no, because this is the thing that they're not adding. Throughput monitors for pipes. Again, it would be cool to have, but how would they do that? Like, engine-wise, how would they do that? Luckily for a solid, like, let's say, iron ingots, for example, it's very easy to have that... Also, this is probably a bad screenshot for Mikhail, I'm sorry. But, it's a lot simpler to do when it's a solid, because you can actually see... like visually see the item being transported across, so it's probably a lot easier to code into the game than a liquid is. So also you can just check it, can't you? Just click on the pipe and you can see the throughput, can't you? Pretty sure you can. No.
Nope. No. I could sit in this chair for another 4 years and even then not explain even half as well as Snoot did what the is going on inside of a pipe. Besides,
yeah, again, coding, engine stuff, I don't understand it, but I do understand it's probably a pain, so...
the black magic that is going on with liquids or fluids in our game, throughput monitors on pipes would also objectively require new art assets that we just simply won't have time to make before the game moves from EXP to live. Multiple personal elevator entrances.
And that's one of those things that most likely won't be coming into the game in 1.2 either. And that is something I do want to try and talk about in a future video. I normally like to make a video where after an update's come out, I then try and talk about what's in the next update. Because it's a bit of a meme in Satisfactory, like when an update just comes out, people are like, okay, well, when's the next update? So I kind of just play into that meme there a little bit. So I will, in the next like 2 months probably, end up making a video titled what's coming into Satisfactory 1.2, where we just brainstorm a bunch of things that could be coming and what won't be coming. So look forward to doing that. But it's also nice to see some things here that will not be coming into the game either. I missed what you said at the very beginning.
Live. Multiple personal elevator entrances.
That's pretty cool.
Cool idea, absolutely. Not for 1.1, but this one could definitely be something we check out later. No promises.
Nice.
Freely placeable vertical splitters and mergers. This one is interesting because
Okay. Can't you do that already? Wait, can you not 3D... Okay. Because I was messing around with this earlier on today. Again, spoiler for a future video. This will make absolutely no sense as of right now, so it's not really that big a spoiler, I suppose. I suppose it snaps at certain points. If you press H... Oh, no, okay. So you can't actually lock this into place. I suppose that might be what they mean by it. Because of course you can now use the up and down vertical arrows, the left and right, like what you could always do, front and back. But then if you press Control, you can then do half nudges. So maybe that plays into what they were requesting there with that. But I don't currently see a problem at all with the conveyor mergers and conveyor vertical splitters. I do not see any sort of a problem. I like that they've added it. One thing I do want to very quickly double check though, that I don't think I've actually messed around with recently. Where is it? No, okay, you can't place this on a lift. That's fine. Maybe that could be something that could be quite nice for update 1.2. Very, very minor thing. If they don't add it, I don't care massively. But yeah, it's not really a big drama.
because it kind of also opens a small can of worms, mainly in how a key feature, vertical nudging, would interact differently between objects falling under the same category, buildables. It wouldn't really be intuitive for only mergers and splitters to be vertically placeable, whereas most other things cannot be. We do see the vision and the pros of being able to place vertical splitters in advance to visualize or plan out your vertical building in advance.
Oh, is that what they mean? But you can do that already, can't you? Yeah. Can't you just do that? Unless they mean place a splitter or a merger and then have this go directly on top or below it. And obviously you can't do that. Can you do something similar? I wonder. It's got me questioning this now. So if I try and place you here, let's say. That seems good, potentially? No. So is that what they mean? Also, side note, but this Mark 6 conveyor lift looks absolutely beautiful. There's so many different architectural things that you can do with this. It's stunning. Really, really stunning. The Mark 6 conveyor belts are just beautiful in general, to be fair. They're talking about a separate buildable. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think vertical splitters and mergers are completely fine the way that they are. If they do more to it, great. If they don't, it's okay.
Maybe this is something we can look into later as well, in terms of making this design more intuitive and allow for this, but it is not going to be for 1.1. Of course, we have also received feedback on our QA site, which, by the way, is the #1 place to go for any feedback, bug reports, feature requests, anything you want to make sure we hear. Post it on our QA site, written right here. We check this site thoroughly, completely, making sure we never miss a thing. And again, this is your #1 bet to make sure that you make your voice heard for us.
Good.
We have received a metric ton of feedback on this site about stuff that we are intending to fix or change on EXP before the game goes live. Hopefully, if time allows. Stuff like obvious bugs such as conveyor wall holes not being nudgeable, or that you can't go through them. In fact, I think these two...
What? Also, I don't know why I'm building all of this in my blueprint designer. You can't nudge the hole there? Really? You cannot nudge the thing. Wow. I mean, I suppose, yeah, that is kind of important to try and fix, because if you want to try and place it in between here, you can't. Whereas if you were able to nudge it, you can just press the H button, then hold down Control, then move it from left to right, then you can do a half nudge. So I suppose that is rather important. What else was Mikhail saying? I sort of interrupted him there.
As conveyor wall holes not being nudgeable, or that you can't go through them. In fact, I think
You can't go through them. Yeah, because as of right now, all you have is like this black square. You can actually somewhat see through it. If I was to get rid of this wall as of right now, you can, I think, see. Yeah, there you go. But you can't actually get through to the other side, which is fine. I'm not. I don't hate that. I can understand why they've done it though, because if you actually go back onto wall, then select something like this. This would mean that when you place down your conveyor wall hole, you'll then have to somehow get rid of everything inside of here. Whether that's a full frame window like a glass wall, or the regular concrete wall, or a basic wall, no matter what it is, you then have to destroy everything inside of there. Which is easier, very easier said than done. I don't know if that's going to be difficult to design or difficult to add, but it sounds like it will be. Regardless, I don't mind this. I'm sure some people really don't like it, and that's understandable, but out of all the problems there could have been in this update, this is very, very minor in my opinion, but it is still a problem in some regard.
these two are solved internally right now and may even be on EXP as of this video releasing. And if they are not, they hopefully will be very, very soon. But we have these obvious bugs. We have stuff like throughput displays showing 0 if you walk too far away from them and then back to them. Or these monitors just bricking completely if you have them on belts and then split or merge said belts. We have display issues such as players appearing offline if you detach the camera from them in photo.
Easy fix to that. Don't play online. Don't have friends. There you go. I'm a genius. Why am I not employed in Coffee Stain Studios? Easy fix to that problem. Any multiplayer problem, any dedicated server problem, just don't have friends. Bro, I mean, I'm just spitballing facts right now. I'm on a roll.
Mode. We have radar tower map range issues, also just display info issues.
Oh,
We have
not even realize.
recipe info with the first item on the list being bugged, etc, etc, etc.
no. I'm supposed to be the recipe guy. I didn't even know that. The one thing I did know this slightly bugged is whenever it comes to liquids, I believe it was. If I just type in this. Yeah, like 4,000 water does not make 13 iron ingots. I know it's not a great ratio normally, but it's not that bad. So whenever anything involves liquids, or maybe even just water, let me just double check actually. Crude oil. If I go to like polyresin. Okay, so it seems to be every single liquid that has this problem, because again, 3,000 crude oil does not give you 2 polymer resin. And it's so, well, actually, it probably does give you 4,000 heavy oil residue, but the ratios here are completely off, because 4,000 heavy oil residue does not give you 2 polymer resin as a byproduct. So yeah, this liquids shenanigans is bugged. It's annoying, especially for new players who might not necessarily understand that's a problem. I'm sure if you play the game for a while and have messed around with oil or any sort of liquids, you can probably understand that this the white text is clearly bugged, whereas the orange text seems to be completely fine. But again, it's a problem, not game breaking.
All of this gathered from the QA site, and again, so much more that we hope to be able to fix before the game goes live.
Great.
If you have anything to add to this pile, do not hesitate.
Yep.
And that's a wrap on everything that I can definitely disappoint you about today.
That's basically the video. The next video they were saying is going to come out towards like the end of May,
Trying
right?
to wrap is the video cadence going forwards, which honestly won't really change all too much, except for the fact that we right now are surrounded by an avalanche of holidays. which makes planning and making these videos be on the 9th of May, but the 16th instead.
16th of May, so that is quite a long time away. I am pretty sure that's a Friday. Because they always upload on Fridays. When is the 16th of May? Sunday? The 16th of May falls on Sunday. Okay. I'll probably end up streaming it, maybe even making a video about it. It all just depends on how important the video is, but regardless, I'll definitely cover it in my next month's news video. So what I'm doing today, I'll be doing the exact same thing next month, where we're definitely going to go over that video. Even if there's not anything major announced, I'm still want to go over it. Yeah, it is the decimals that are out of place. Yep. Yeah. That, again, I don't know anything about coding, but that feels like a very simple thing to fix. Coding-wise. But considering it's been in the game now for a fair bit, maybe it's not simple to fix. So I'm going to assume it's not simple. And that's the end of this video, essentially. So we've covered that. So that was like the main video I wanted to try and talk about today. We've also got this video, where the thumbnail of it, actually, was this uploaded on the 1st of April? It was. Okay. That makes sense, because the thumbnail shows a golf ball, a fix-it golf ball. Obviously, that's slightly blurred out. But the actual video itself mentions nothing about golf. But the intro is the most important part. Also, that's wrong. I won't question it. Welcome, Nexus is Warrior. Hope that you're doing well. Well, Nexus Warrior, not Nex is Warrior. Hope that you're doing well, though. So the main thing about this video in particular that I've discovered is that it seems to be soundtracks. All of the soundtracks that you can hear in the background are the same soundtracks that you can hear in the Satisfactory lift, or the elevator, however you say it. So that's the main reason for this video, I believe. I don't think there's anything major here, is there? Oh, there actually kind of is. Okay, so we have like a hypertube junction. That's pretty cool. We obviously know that's in the game already, but that's still quite nice. The other two things to note, if I get rid of my webcam for just a moment, is that did not do anything. What did I even press? Oh my god, my PC just lagged. I was going to say I'm so unbelievably untalented, but there we go. So this, I think, is now new. This new head gear. And then these cat ears are also new as well. I'm not sure about the face. But yeah, that's pretty cool, though. But yeah, this video is essentially mostly just to do with... I hate ads. I might just get YouTube Premium for the sake of making content. Yep. Give me 2 ads, why don't you? And of course it's a gambling ad, because why isn't it a gambling ad? Hey you're earning less than ever before. Would you like to gamble your money? No, not today, mate, but cheers. So this was something else that they've teased. Where is it? Show me. There you go. Again, we obviously know this is new, but it's still quite nice. I think there was something towards the end of the video, right? Oh yeah, 1.1 out now. Yep. So that's pretty much all there is in this video. It's interesting. It's not anything remarkable, but it's still good to cover though. And then this video right here about update 1.1, I've covered this in extensive detail. And that's it. Essentially, that is the main Satisfactory news of the month. Of course, we've got update 1.1 as well. I've made half a dozen videos talking about 1.1. I've streamed it a lot. I've covered everything there is to do with it. So I'm not going to mention it too much more in today's video. I just wanted to go over that previous Coffee Stain Studios video. A little, not rant, a little conversation about controller supports. But I do very quickly want to try and talk about next month. What are we going to see in update 1.2, which definitely won't be coming out next month. That'll be in like 3 or 4 months' time at least, maybe even a bit longer than that. But what are we going to see in May? The honest answer is not much. Play that Pokemon music. There we go. I really can't expect them to be adding too much stuff related to the game in updates 1.1 in May. I really don't. Of course, we could make a massive mind map and talk about what they will add, but it'll be a very small mind map, so there's not really much point going over it. Regardless, though, if there is anything I have missed on the channel about 1.1 or anything to do with Satisfactory this month, do let me know in the comments down below. I just inhaled there really rapidly. Sorry if it sounded like I snorted. I promise I didn't. I kind of did, actually. One thing I do actually want to very quickly highlight, though, is this. Thank you for all the support on the video I uploaded a couple days ago. I had a lot of fun, like, making this video. I generally did have a lot of fun making it. I do want to talk a little bit about the aluminium stuff, because apparently I missed aluminium ingots, which is kind of annoying, but I'll probably mention that in, like, a separate video maybe, or another stream, not today. But yeah, that was... the support on that video was incredible. The support on all the videos recently have been really, really cool, so thank you guys for that. It is really, really cool. Played 1.1 into aluminium stage, but stopped. It's just too buggy and annoying. Needs to be fixed to be really playable. Yeah, there are a few bugs. I haven't noticed anything game-breaking yet. There's a couple annoying things here and there, definitely, but from my experience, nothing dreadful. So maybe I've got lucky, or maybe you got unlucky. I generally do not know. But from the feedback I've seen about updates 1.1 and the content we've received in April, it's been pretty good. But again, it's just experimental as of right now. When the game fully comes... Actually, that's another thing I'm going to try and talk about. When the game officially launches 1.1 onto their main branch, I will be playing it. I'll make a stream about it. And I'll also make a video about it as well. Whenever we get the news about it, official news, I don't really cover rumors that much. I just don't particularly find them that fascinating. But if it's official information from Coffee Stain Studios being like, hey, on the 14th of May, we're going to launch 1.1 into the main branch of the game, I'll make a video covering it, so don't worry about that. Obviously, it might not be coming out on the 14th of May. That's just the example. Was part of the belts. The lifts and pipes not connecting, stuff looks built, but in reality nothing passes through. Oh. Is that from the new blueprint thing where you can, like, connect blueprints together? Let me show you. Again, I've got the game open, it's probably easier for me to demonstrate. I'm going to keep this Pokemon music in the background because I think it sounds quite nice. To be fair, Pokemon music does go kind of hard. Rotate. So this new curve feature is pretty cool. So how do we do this? It's just by pressing U. Rotate you there a little bit. Give the auto connect out. I mean, obviously this doesn't look too nice, but this should work though, right? Have I got a nose nearby? I do. I've got to try and get it. Let's just test it out. I can't really test out pipes as of right now though. Well, I could, I just can't be asked. It's too much effort. Water logistics? No, thank you. Please rotate. I hate ads. There we go. Let's just turn that off and get the Satisfactory music in the background, just for now, as we do this little experiment. Yeah, YouTube Premium, I might have to. Just commit with it, honestly. Doesn't always happen. Yeah, I'm sure it's a rare thing, but the problem isn't how rare it is. The problem is that it happens. So I can completely understand why that is frustrating. Oh, hello. Oh, you connect automatically like that? That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. I thought it had to be connected to another blueprint to work, but I guess not. How are you gonna look? Dreadful. That's the wrong... Look how quick that is. That is rapid. So sometimes it doesn't fully connect. Is that what you're saying? I mean, luckily this is okay, but if that does occur, that is definitely rather annoying. Maybe I got lucky this time. Because it should work. I don't see why it shouldn't. And bear in mind, I've only got one conveyor belt here. Some people might have blueprints that are like 20 conveyor belts long, and if one of them doesn't work, then you have to like delete a few other conveyor belts to find the conveyor belt that then doesn't work, and you've got 10 blueprints that are connecting, and then there's problems. That's annoying. That is very, very annoying. So I can definitely see if that is a problem, why it would be very frustrating. But regardless, from what I've experienced so far, it actually hasn't been too bad. I'm still really enjoying update 1.1. I'll definitely make some more news videos about it if we do get any more information about it. But as of right now, it is all quiet on the Satisfactory front. That sounds like a really good book. I'm sure it would do very well. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to try and cover today. I know it's a very short stream. I do apologize for that. But I can feel myself yapping, and I don't want to get into the yapping stage. So I'm going to end it here before I end up talking about Skyrim again. So basically in Skyrim, there's... No, I'm joking. But yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I should be live again... What day is it today? Tuesday? Monday. I wish it was Tuesday. But no, I should be live again maybe Thursday or Friday. Should have a video coming out tomorrow. Wednesday, probably nothing on Wednesday. Thursday or Friday will be a stream, and then a video the next day or the day before. But regardless, thank you very much to everyone that tuned in. Thank you for watching as well, Vinod. I do apologize. It's very late where you live. I do apologize, but thank you very much for still tuning in, though. And hopefully I'll go back to the slightly earlier streams. Again, today I got a bit distracted. Not by Skyrim. No. Those are lies, fake rumors. Okay, maybe it was. I've got no excuses. It's a fun game. Thank you very much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you again for all the incredible support in the videos recently. And have an amazing rest of your few days until I stream next. Just have an amazing life. There you go. Goodbye.